Hi there, I'm Lillian Larty, health and wellbeing specialist and transformation coach, helping those of you who are introverts and highly sensitive people to manage stress, overwhelm and prevent burnout so that you can live feeling calm, balanced, relaxed and resilient. And today's topic is about where or what level of stress and tension are you living in? Maybe you've not thought about this before. Maybe you're just getting on with your day and you don't think, what level of stress am I in? It's not one of those things that we think about, but it is worth bearing in mind because the level of stress that we're in and the level of tension that we're in will predict our symptoms and will also predict our consequences of leading towards burnout. So there was a guy many years ago called Dr. Selye, I'm sure I pronounced his name right, who was doing some research around female hormones apparently. And he came across different stages, different levels of stress that we as humans can go through before we reach a point of breakdown. And through his discovery, he came across three levels of, or three stages of stress. There are different types of stress as well, but that's not for this video. So there are different stages of stress that we actually go through, depending upon what your perception is of stress and the actual pressures or external demands that you're facing. So the first level or first stage of stress that Dr. Selye came across was called the alarm stage. And this is where our body biological system naturally kicks into our fight and flight response when an emergency happens. So say, for example, you're walking down the road and a vicious dog comes at you. What do? Do you run or do you try to fight the dog? Hopefully your fight and flight response kicks in and you run from the dog, or, well, if you want to fight, you can fight it. Another example is you're about to cross the road and a car comes speeding out of nowhere and you instantly jump out of the way of that speeding car. That is your fight and flight response, alerting you, alarming you to take action. Okay. Normally when we experience that, our stress levels, cortisol hormones, adrenaline and all the other hormones start to lower down, and our brain, once our brain realizes that our external environment is safe, then all the natural biological fight and flight response starts to come down and you become much calmer. However, we are now in the 21st century where we tend to experience more than emergencies in our lives. We tend to experience constant demands and pressures. So what happens then? Well, then our biological system naturally kicks in stage 2, which is called the resistance stage. This is also known as the coping response mechanism. And this is where, for our nervous system, this is very important, particularly for us introverts and highly sensitive people, because our nervous system naturally as a trait is more sensitive than the average person. This is where we tend to operate mainly from our sympathetic nervous system. And this is where we are constantly in that coping response, trying to cope with the demands, trying to cope with the pressures of everyday living, of our external environment, as well as internal environment as well. This is where we start to see a lot more evidence of symptoms of stress, so such as mood swings, depression, headaches, increase of blood pressure, colds, frequent colds and flus, and different symptoms, tension in muscles, pain, interruptions with sleep, maybe hormonal activities, particularly with women, and a whole host of other things as well that can happen. Now, at this stage, we're not meant to be in this stage for long periods of time, but sadly, because of the way 21st century living is, a majority of people are in level 2. Can you recognize some of the symptoms that I've mentioned? Are you in level 2 or stage 2, the resistance stage? Your coping response is constantly on because you're doing your best Your brain is doing its best to keep you safe and to help you cope with the everyday demands and pressures of life. Okay? Now, if you say, yes, Leland, that's me, it sounds like me, I will give you a solution in a moment. Now, for stage 3, if you are consistently in stage 2, resistance stage, day in, day out, over many years, especially over many years, you will start to enter into the exhaustion stage. Even sometimes it can happen sooner than that. Depends on the level of pressure and demands that you're facing at stage 2. Stage 3 is what we call the exhaustion stage. Now, Dr. Selye realized that this was what he called the final stage or the final level of stress and tension. And this is where you are constantly facing high levels of demand, high levels of pressure. Well, what is high and what is not? It totally depends on how you as a human being are able to cope with the pressure, how your nervous system also is able to cope with the pressures and demands of maybe everyday life. It could be extra pressures such as divorce, such as death in a family, such as the loss of a job, such as moving house or properties, maybe even moving to another section in the world. Even getting married can be highly stressful for some people. So the exhaustion stage is something that tends to be day in and day out, permanent. And from this stage, you start to see symptoms of chronic diseases such as autoimmune diseases to do with the thyroid, diabetes, extreme high blood pressure, rheumatoid arthritis, and many other diseases such as chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and other symptoms and symptomatic diseases that we are seeing now in this modern age. Now, obviously, the longer that we are in stage 3, this leads to burnout. Now, you may or may not know my story. 10 years ago, I was running 3 busy massage clinics, teaching a number of personal training clients, teaching a number of exercise clients. I thought I was healthy. I was working 12 plus hour days. Yes, I was stressed, but I didn't realise the level of stress that I was in. And I was in the exhaustion stage, stage 3, and eventually I burnt out from stress. Now, it's one of those things that you realise, you think, oh, I'm okay, I'm coping, I'm living day to day and I'm enjoying what I do, but that level of stress, what are you doing about that level of stress? How are you releasing stress from your body, from your mind every day? And now I don't even say to my clients every day, I say every hour or, at certain sections of the day. Make time to release the stress, to release the tension, because the longer it's stuck in your body, the more you're telling your brain that you're in a level of stress and pressure, and it's doing its best to keep you safe. So it will keep pumping out that cortisol hormone. It will keep pumping out the adrenaline hormones and the other hormones that go with it. And the more your body does that, the more it starts to break down cells in your body. This, stage 3 is the breakdown. It's a breakdown stage. That's where even your organs start to break down, become less effective in doing their work. Your body becomes less effective in detoxing itself. Your body becomes less effective in clearing out the free radicals from your body. We hear about free radicals, things that lead towards cancer, lead towards dementia, all these type of situations and scenarios. So it's highly important that we start to put things in place in order not to be in level 3 or stage 2 and, just minimal times in stage 1. So what can we do? So here are some solutions and things that I've done and I recommend to my clients as well. So when we find ourselves in the alarm stage, maybe you might find you dip in and out of alarm stage. There is maybe what I call firefighting throughout your day, where there are emergencies, small emergencies that you can kind of cope with. And then once you've coped with them, it's like you can, breathe a sigh of relief and just go, okay, I'm glad that's over. I can get on with normal life. So with the alarm stage, we're looking at doing simple techniques of breathing techniques, maybe breath work, release work, where you can release tension from your body, maybe through stretching, like I said, breath work, breathing, going for a walk, simple techniques like that, that will bring you back into balance and equilibrium within your mind and body. If you find that you're in stage 2, the resistance stage, where your coping response is constantly on and basically your body and your brain, your nervous system is on constant guard. It's like, yes, we're on guard, we're watching for any, not only emergencies, but high level threat. Then really you're looking for support in the way of nutritional support, because the more your body is in high levels of stress, the more your body is actually consuming levels of magnesium, calcium, vitamin B, vitamin C, and the more your body's depleting these vital nutrients, the more you are opening yourself up for cases of dis-ease. Okay, so nutritional support. You also would be looking at moments of rest therapy, moments to help you relax as well, which is why I talk a lot about being in a level, living from rest, living from calm, creating space to be able to have, that relief, that level of relief, strategies that you can implement for possible lifestyle changes and mindset as well, because stress is all about mindset. What is it that you're thinking about being in the coping stress response? What are your thoughts like? How busy is your mind? These are things that I would recommend that you look at as well. And then for the exhaustion stage, if you're finding yourself in that exhaustion stage, then definitely I would recommend that you seek professional help. Seek professional help from someone like myself, or go to your GP, where you can start to implement different solutions where you can shift out of being in the exhaustion stage. Hopefully you're not going to be at that stage of burnout, and if you are, then you're going to be looking at support for healing and recovery. If you find that you have diseases such as fibromyalgia, such as chronic fatigue, such as issues to do with your thyroid, whether your thyroid is in a hyperactive thyroid or hypothyroid, other symptoms, maybe cancer, maybe severe mood swings, depression, seek help, seek professional help. To help you heal and recover from those symptoms, and more so if you're in burnout, definitely seek help as well, because it would be a case of doing all the solutions that I've mentioned before, plus getting the help from a professional person who can help you. So what level of stress and tension are you in? Maybe you dip in and out of stage 1, the alarm stage. Perhaps you're in that constant coping response stage of the resistance stage. Or maybe you're in stage 3, the exhaustion stage, where you have some of the diseases and the ailments that I've mentioned before, and you haven't really gone for professional help. You haven't seen your GP, or maybe you did seek help and it hasn't been helpful. Then I ask you to reach out to me. You can send me a DM, or you can come on, which is what is coming up now in my world, my Breathe and Release Wellness Masterclass. The next one is happening on Saturday, the 22nd of May. I'll pop details in around the video, either in the comments below or it'll be around the video somewhere. And this is a 90-minute masterclass where I will be teaching about stress, how you can easily de-stress and unstress the mind and the body, the levels of stages. I will explain more about that. And I will share with you some simple breathing and breath work and release techniques to help you definitely not be in that stage 3 of exhaustion or that stage 2 of coping and resistance. And where dipping in and out of that stage 1, you can easily implement these simple techniques for everyday living. Now, some of the people who have come on the Breathe and Release Wellness Masterclass have fed back, and you can see some of the testimonials in the form when you click through and get more details. But just a couple of them I'd like to share with you. One from a lady called Jennifer, who highly knows a lot about relaxing and calming techniques and was doing them every day. And she thought, well, you know, there's no harm in me going on the Breathe and Release Wellness Masterclass. And she came on and she was surprised at the other techniques that I was sharing that she hadn't realised that she could also implement as part of her self-care routine. So she now implements those on top of the ones that she already knew how to use. And then there's a lady called Teresa, and you will see her video when you click through to find out more details. And she shares her story about what happened when she was taking her daughter to school and the technique that she implemented, and how instantly there was a change in how her and her daughter were feeling as they were entering into school. But I'll leave you to watch that video, and then she can share from her perspective the instant transformation that she experienced just by using one technique that I shared from the Breathe and Release Wellness Masterclass. There is a cost to it. It's £29, and I highly recommend this for everyone. If you say to yourself, well, maybe it's not for me, maybe it's for someone else that you know who is always stressed, they're always feeling tense or rattled or frazzled or frantic, and they need something simple to help them be in that place of calm, relaxation and balance. Share this video with them, share the link with them, and, you know, let them make up their own mind, you know, to come on the Wellness Masterclass. If you find also from what I've shared in today's video that you think, you know what, Lillian, I possibly need some one-to-one advice and help in this area of stress and pressure. You know, how do I access your help or guidance? I offer a free 30-minute consultation. Click through to the link that I will post around this video, and or send me a DM and I can send you the link that way as well, and get booked in for a 30-minute consultation, and let's explore how I can best help you. So that is all from me today. Let me know what you take away from this video. Let me know also what stage are you in and what solutions are you going to start to implement to not be in, you know, levels of stress and tension as well. I'd love to know, and I would love to help you and support you as well. So until next time, remember to breathe and release and live from a place of calm, rest and balance. Until next time, see you later. Bye.